The songs referred to in this podcast may occasionally be described as crap. Thank you for listening.
The following show includes references to Elvis Presley making occasional substandard music. We apologise for any offence caused.
First of all, I plead innocent of all charges.
Talking Elvis, a new podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Talking Elvis, the podcast.
Hello, yeah, two little ducks are here.
Two little ducks. Yes. I'm only one little duck. I'm Vince Wright, and who's my other little duck?
And I'm Ian Gray. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Ian Gray. Are you quackers? Right.
Hey.
Hey.
Off and running.
I say, where's my washboard? Oh, this is good. Music Hall is not dead. Last week, we had a little bit of a blast from the past with an interview there, which seemed to go down well with the Orion story.
Yeah, with Jeannie Finlay. That was your interview with Jeannie. That was very good and very informative. And that interview was first broadcast when the Orion movie, Jimmy Ellis story, came out, wasn't it? And it was doing the rounds in the Britain anyway. Yes,
I was only thinking after this I should watch it again, so I might have to do that one. I think
did you get that in the end? Did you buy it?
I've got the gold vinyl EP DVD limited signed blah 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 because I'm an anorak. Remember.
Dear, oh dear. I noticed they were selling that one in the Memphis Manson shop as well. They were selling that. Yes, they were. Yeah, and I think they were selling a book together with it. Yeah, it was tucked away in the corner somewhere. So I'm pretty sure.
Oh, there was an ETA bit, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, there's a thought. We might have to get in touch with Henrik then about his views on the ETAs having a stall there for our future podcast, all about ETAs. So if you haven't seen our flyers and everything out there at the moment, we're looking for your input. We want people to come on the show, write to the show, tell me whatever it's going to be about the love it or hate it relationship with ETAs. Don't just list a load of ETAs you think are good. Why are they good? What is it that makes them worthwhile? Why are they so good for the Elvis industry? Or are they hindering it and they should be shot? Yeah, we need to know the answers.
And why would we listen to them rather than the original Elvis? You educate us if you like.
That's a good
we'll be fair.
Educate us.
Yeah, we'll be fair.
So we're putting a show together in a few weeks. I've got some interviews lined up, but if you're an ETA out there or you're the booking agent for them, or if you're a dodgy little pub that always puts one on a Saturday night and you get more people in than ever, let us know. I want to see the whole world of it because I don't get it. We need educating.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll do a fair and reasoned arguments. ETAs, yes or no.
Got a question? Email Vince at talkingelvis.co.uk.
So, have we got any news and views this very week?
I've got a couple of little bits and pieces. One of them's quite interesting. But first of all, the Elvis in Nashville CD set that was due out possibly July, August. That may be delayed at the moment. We're not sure why, but that may be sort of October, November now. That's the Nashville Marathon. When Elvis recorded Nashville between June and September of 1970. Now, I think that looks really interesting. I'm quite happy to.
That's an amazing session, isn't it? Because it's one of those that marathon's the right word, isn't it?
Yeah.
He put his Snickers on and he just went for it. Yeah.
So that's been delayed. But if it's been delayed, it's probably a good thing, isn't it? So it means we're going to get belt and braces, if you like, of everything. So hopefully.
Oh, well, that'll be right. Does it say anything about how many discs or anything?
It says four CDs at the moment. It's a Sony release, so it's going to be an official
legacy
release.
Sort of thing. Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah.
But so it's not. Is it a proper disc? It's not going to be just a download only.
No. They're definitely saying the 4 CD sets from Sony, so that'll be available all over the place. So that'll be
Watch
something
this, mate.
to. Yes, indeed, and it'll be interesting to see what book goes along with that. If there is to be a book, I'm sure there will be. That'd be good
There's
fun.
always a book, isn't there?
Yeah,
Oh.
and another thing is Elvis memorabilia on sale at Julien's Auctions. Now, Julien's Auctions, if you've never had one of their books, brochures, or
yes.
know where they are, I think they're based in Los Angeles, aren't they?
I think so.
And I've been on the mailing list a couple of times for their catalogs. Interestingly, when they were rumored to be selling the Lisa Marie airplane, I thought I didn't put a bid in, but I showed an interest. Because
£17.10, but it was beat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, somebody, and it was fair. It was fair enough. I mean, I couldn't have fit it on my driveway anyway, but but that was on there, so they kept me on the mailing list, which was bizarre. I don't know how much money they think I've got,
Yeah.
but just recently, the most recent Icons 2020 auction, a belt that Elvis wore, and it was a macrame belt, whatever a macrame belt is. I think it's one of these things that wraps around and then there's tassels hanging down the side or whatever. That sold for nearly $300,000. $300,000. Yes, you heard that right the first time.
Wow.
It was an ivory macrame belt with accented reflective stones. That's the official blur on that. So yeah, 300 grand. And the trousers that Elvis was wearing in Frankie and Johnny, and if you remember, he had like a black suit on with tassels all over the place, and the trousers, and the trousers.
Yes.
The trousers that went with that black shirt that he was wearing, would you believe? They went for right. Have a guess here. Have a guess how much they were. That went for. Go on.
It's got to be more than the belt. So you could double it.
No, nowhere near. No. But for a pair of trousers, somebody paid $11,750, nearly $12,000 for a pair of trousers.
$12,000 for a pair of trousers.
Yeah, so there we go. Now, do you know about Gary Pepper? He was the president.
Oh, yes.
Bank. Now, a 1966 Chevrolet Impala that was gifted to Elvis from Elvis to Gary Pepper. That went for $62,500.
In all good working order.
Apparently so, yeah. Oh. And here's the thing. Now we've actually seen and had one of these things in our grubby little hands. A 14-carat yellow gold TCB necklace.
Oh yes, the one we tried to get out of Randers with.
The one we tried to nick. Yeah, we didn't run fast enough.
We just didn't get it. It was that blooming bottle of beer and a burger that slowed us, wasn't it?
It was the second helping of chips as well. It didn't help as well. So one of those sold for $7,500. So
that's I'm not going to say doable, but you could feasibly get one of those in your collection.
If you maxed out a credit card, you probably could, couldn't you?
If if a good lottery win without going, silly. I mean, it's not the first thing on my list, but you can see how many squillion of them are out there.
Yeah.
It would be a lovely thing to have, though, wouldn't it?
So it's interesting, isn't it? So there you go. So Julien's Auctions, go and have a look at their websites. They've got loads of stuff on there. There's one of Prince's guitars went for over $500,000. So have a look. It's all interesting stuff all on there. The Julien's Auctions. That's what it is.
All right. Well, I shall look at me book token that I got for my birthday and see if they'll accept it and see what we get. Yes.
Makes a change from spending 20 quid on a Follow That Dream, doesn't it? So.
There's some lovely stuff there, though, isn't it, in these collections? And I've been looking on Facebook. Ian Bailey's been doing a series of his 16mm film collection.
Yes.
And I've just been looking at those, and I'm thinking, this all needs to be behind glass. This needs to be a collection to see now. I want them to have the Ian Bailey wing of Randers.
It'd be interesting if big collectors like this could get together at some point and do something. That'd be remarkable, wouldn't it, to have that type of stuff in there? But there we go. I'm sure there's an enterprising person out there somewhere.
Well,
just not us.
It's just not us because we've only got 30 bob. Right.
That's between us, by the way.
Yeah, that's very true. Right. So, Any more news?
No, that's it for me for now. Yes,
Yeah, I've got no real
I'll try
news
and
on this.
I'll try
I
and
should.
get some more tidbits next week.
The worst bit of news for me is I should have just come back from Memphis now.
Oh, you're still going on about that?
Yeah, I'm going to be bitter and twisted about this for years. Yeah, I did not get to make it to Memphis and Nashville this year, I've said 1,000 times, and now I'm officially home from when I didn't go. So it's all over and done with. It's ancient history.
And I didn't get me postcard, but never mind.
You didn't get your postcard, didn't get to interview people, so it's all gone to pot, hasn't it?
It has indeed.
Well,
But never mind. It's not going anywhere, but you will be hopefully in the future.
we do hope so.
This is Henrik Knudsen from the Memphis Mansion in Randers, Denmark, and you are listening to the Talking Elvis podcast.
Yeah.
Now, this week's show, we've developed this top 5 thing, haven't we? It's our baby, isn't it?
The little thing. Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I love doing these. I love the research for them, and I love the not knowing what you're going to say. And we have the live banter here, so it really is. I haven't gone. Oh, well, that's my number 3. If you have it as your number 2, it's completely unplanned. We came up. What can we do this week? And I think, did we actually say last week what it was going to be? Did we announce?
Yes,
we did announce it properly, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So we have come up with. And we're not sure of the title on this one, because it's either the top 5 or the bottom 5, and we're not quite sure. So is it the top 5 worst songs recorded by Elvis, or is it the bottom 5 best songs recorded by Elvis, so it makes them the worst? It gets a bit confusing. Anyway, we're looking at the tat. We're looking
at lots of categories. There's lots of categories here, isn't there? Because it's either your personal least favourite, or what you perceive to be officially a waste of space.
Yes. Now, this is good. A waste of space. This is funny because I do see, again, all over the place, people go, I love Elvis. Everything he does is great. And, they dance to the Elvis Sales EP because they go to Elvis, it'll be fine. They will just love everything. And as much as we do and we buy everything, we do sometimes go, that song's shocking. Yeah. You are at an Elvis disco and you just go, oh, dear me.
Yeah, we do. We do it on the quiet, though, don't we?
Yeah. So this isn't saying he was shocking. He was no good. Everybody does something that's dodgy, don't they? I mean, the Beatles number nine is not the best thing they ever did, is it?
No.
But so how have you chose your top 5? How did the process go with you?
Well, originally what I did, I'd already got 3 or 4 in mind that I knew I didn't like.
The dead certs, yeah.
Yeah, and then I wrote down why I didn't like them. But then what I did, because we've all got these books, I went through like an A to Z of every song that Elvis recorded or think we recorded, and did it logically. And every time I came up with, oh yes, I don't like that one. Oh yes, I do like that one, but so I won't put that. So I did it step by step, and I wrote them all down. And eventually I wrote down, out of about, I don't know, how many songs did Elvis? About 800 and something? I can't remember.
Yeah, just under it.
I think I wrote down initially 41 songs. Which I thought were questionable, whether I did or didn't like them, or some of them which I just couldn't remember.
That's an interesting one, isn't it? Because there were some songs I thought of that. I thought on this soundtrack album, there's 2 songs I don't like.
Yeah.
And I thought, which one do I hate the most? And I had to play them, and I thought, when was the last time I played that song? Yeah. Because it's so bad you wouldn't hear it at a disco. You probably haven't played it on the radio because it's a bit dreary. And then you go, oh, but it was forgotten. That's a good point, like that.
And yeah, there's 1 or 2 songs as well, which I thought I'm definitely putting that in the top 5 or the bottom 5. And then when I listened back to it, I thought, actually, that's not too bad. So I kept narrowing it down and see which ones were the best deserving cases. Now I did start off the reference with the 1982 bootleg album, Elvis's Greatest Shit, right?
Oh, right. Now, I'm glad you brought
which I've been looking for. I can't find it anywhere for less than about 50 quid, and I'm not paying that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great album, isn't it? If you've never seen this, spoilers, you're going to be offended in about 8 different ways. Yeah. It's on Dog Vomit record label.
That was it.
Yeah. July 1982. And I remember this coming about, and I'm not going to buy that. I'm not going to buy this. Or, up in arms. And like you now, I really want to get it. And you see there's been repressings and CD versions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that their track listing, do we want to talk about the track listing on here at the end?
I mean, I'm just looking at the track listing, right? And there's only 2 or 3 songs on their album which I actually wrote down at all.
Yeah, I
think it's good stuff because it might not necessarily be a Grammy award winning stuff, but I like it, and that's I've gone for the like more than anything else.
Yes, and don't you think some of these? I'm not going to sort of guess which ones you're saying here, but a song in a film, that on record is dire, but in the scene is very relevant and it makes the movie flow.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go, well, I can't put that in then, can I? Because that is so good to the film, and a song that you just makes you turn off is if I've got a CD in the car. And there are certain songs, even with Elvis, that I would skip the channel. In the same way as when Way Down comes on the radio, you have to crank it up and give it all it's worth.
I mean, this album, I thought I was going to use it as a reference, and it just wasn't relevant at all by the time I'd looked at the listing, so I had to do it all myself.
It's funny that the way they've put it together, they've gone for, they're calling it Elvis's greatest shit, but it's much more Elvis's cheesiest songs. It's much cheesier than awful.
It is 99% movie tracks, isn't it? And so it's just basically saying Elvis's movies were garbage, so therefore we're gonna pick a song out of 10 of them, and which is a bit of a shame.
Done our top 5 best film songs, so we did the same, but this was just let's shake up the market. But it is a great little album, isn't it? So you've got, it's a National Enquirer Mickey take on the cover. It's called Elvis's Greatest Shit. It's got a picture of him lying in the open cask. It's on Dog Vomit Records. What else was it? What else was so bad about it? I can't even remember. There's adverts for other albums on it and everything, wasn't there, as well?
I think so. Yeah,
it was just so very bad.
I mean, there's even they wrote down as well, Can't Help Falling in Love. I thought, my goodness, why on earth is that on there? That's a classic. But then it turns out that the outtake that they used was one where Elvis messed up the recording and said, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
and that's why it's on there. So in '82,
that was rare. That was so rare. That was untrue, wasn't it?
Yeah, we didn't have a mass market of all this sort of stuff, did we? So like we have today. So that was that was slightly controversial, but it's good fun, and it's something I want in my collection just because I think it's funny. So why not?
It is, yes.
Alternate.
I don't remember what the other one was now. I remember the other thing on the super offensive. It says "fat dead person" on the cover.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not even trying to make a lovely, sexy byline or anything. No. They just went for, let's upset it here, and this is really upset the market. So we've got that as a background, but it sounds like we've both gone our own sweet way. Then
we have, yeah. And I've enjoyed it actually. It's just, I went through the final listing this one, and I listened to about 20 odd songs just to make sure that I didn't like them or that I found out that I actually did. So so it was good fun. Yes.
I did a little weird trick with it. As I was going, I went through Spotify through the main albums.
Yeah.
And every time I found a track, I added it to a playlist.
Oh.
So I have this playlist that then I went back to and go, oh, I want to listen to that one again. So I didn't have to keep searching for the track.
Yeah.
So I kept going back and I'm going, but it was such a good scene. I'm not sure I can put that in, or I thought this was a gem, but actually when you listen to it, so we're good. We have
let's
our sealed envelopes again.
let's do this. I think I know one or two of yours. Maybe you probably might know one or two of mine. I don't know, but
I'm going to put money on you are going to know one of mine, and that's all.
Yeah.
Right, because I've surprised myself. So let's go. Do I flip the coin again? Is that the rule? So
Yes,
who goes first?
that.
Heads or
Yeah,
tails?
do it. I'll go heads.
Tails. You go first.
This first one might be a little bit controversial. So my number 5 is actually and it will be controversial when I tell you the name of the album it came from. The album was from Elvis in Memphis. And you're thinking, oh, hang on a minute, how can anybody dislike anything on this? But I'm going to go, or those sessions anyway. I don't know if it was on the original album, but it was certainly on those sessions. It was Mama Like the Roses.
Do you know, it was on it's like my number 6.
Yeah.
That was a close one.
Yeah, the vocal on it, Elvis's vocal on it was brilliant. It was great. But the lyrics, and it's a bit morose anyway because it's reminiscing and he sounds a bit sad and melancholy about it as well. But then the last line hits you like a ton of bricks, and it just like you just want to just like sit down and cry. And I don't want to cry when I'm listening to a record, quite honestly. So it was downbeat all the way through, but a lovely song, a lovely tune, and then that last line, I thought, no, that's the reason why I won't listen to it. Again,
I've always been a skip that one. I've always that is exactly it. And I think that the funny that you're so adamant on the 69 sessions there.
Yeah,
you bang on because we've got Long Black Limousine, which is death, and we love it. You know. So it's not just the fact that it's about it's a crap song. Well done.
There's one word that I've written down more than once, and I don't know whether we should say it or not, but I've written this word down more than once on these lists of songs here, and I don't know whether I should say it or not, but it's a no.
I can always bleep it. I can bleep it.
It's one of our favourite words actually, and it's simply shite.
Yes, with a capital E. Yes.
We've used that word more than once.
Yeah, it does sum it up. And I think there is something about that because looking at the songs that I came up with, I went through all the different views of how you get it. The old grey whistle test. Do you go along and you whistle the tune and you get it, and you don't even do that. So yeah, I think you've got a dud there. Well done. That is the opening track, side 1 of our greatest shit. That's it. Excellent call.
Right.
Excellent. I'm going to be in the same vein to you here. I'm going for a 70s track off one of the early mid 70s albums. If I tell you it's written by Mark James of Suspicious Minds fame, you go, surely not. Yeah. Surely he can't do anything dire.
Yeah.
1973. And I'm going with Raised on Rock.
Oh, that was again like a bit like your sort of just outside the top 5 with my first one.
Yeah, it got there, didn't it?
That was certainly in the top 7 or 8. Yes, it was. Yes.
Because for me, it's a good little song if you're singing about Elvis, because you were raised on rock. You knew every song from Hound Dog to Johnny Be Good. Yeah. It's great, but what the hell's Elvis singing it for? When he invented it, he was the one there. It's just wrong. And it makes no sense. I can see if I was an ETA, I'd start the show with it because I go, hey, this is me. And this is what my influences were. But as Elvis doing it, wrong, just wrong.
Yeah, it is. It's not great. And so I think somebody else mentioned that when we sort of advertised this show. I think somebody did mention "Raised on Rock" as one of these songs, didn't they? As well. So
it's just inappropriate.
So you're not alone there. Yeah.
Oh, good.
And like I said, it did make like a top 10 of mine as well.
Yeah, but I suppose if I was talking to Mark James today, I'd go, pretty decent song. It's a nice tribute to the early years of rock and roll, but I'm not over fussed, and I'm not even really getting the the recording of it as great. It's a bit, ooh. So I think that's my tenpenneth.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4. Okay. This is a classic song which was covered by Elvis, and quite honestly, the quality of Elvis's vocal on it is so bad that it's almost an insult that it was actually released on a mainstream album, and that's Elvis's version of "Hey Jude."
Bingo.
Have a listen to his vocal. He's obviously got like a heavy cold, or maybe he just can't get the pitch of the song right. But to actually have it on the album is the Now album, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Put it on a Follow That Dream. Put it on the studio outtakes, all this sort of stuff. Yes, no problem with that. And you think, crikey, that's a bit rough. But to actually put it as an official track on the official release, I thought was shocking. It was just awful.
It's good, isn't it? Because you're saying that album come out and they're going, what have we got? What's in the vault? So
haven't you got any more than that? Seriously, you're only looking to put 10 songs or 12 songs on an album, aren't you?
Yeah, and they kind of, and it is. I mean, the Beatles version of it is great.
Yeah,
and I think I'll be honest here. This was my number 3.
All right, okay, yeah. So we're along the same lines there. Yeah.
So this is my number. We're definitely on the same page here.
Yeah.
Now, if you listen to the Beatles version of this on the David Frost show, when they did it live, it's the first time out, and McCartney's there, and it's like camera in the face, and it's raw emotion and everything.
Yeah.
And then what is it? Elvis does? What's that really dodgy line in it?
Take a bad song and make it better.
Make it better. Yeah.
He almost screeched it out, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh dear me.
And there's almost a little squeak in his voice at that point as well. It's like he must have had a heavy cold. There's no reason why he would deliver a song like that and be happy that it's on a release. But did he have any say on what actually went onto the album after recording session? Probably not. All done by RCA or Tom Diskin.
Yeah. And generally speaking, I'd say with the Beatles covers, he does a darn good job of it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear me. Yeah.
He was a genuine fan, wasn't he, of their songwriting and their music. And this just seems a shame that such a heavy duty song has had that treatment and appeared on an official release. Yeah.
And they tweaked it, they do it up as best they can, but something like it's so different now has more appeal to it, or even the one-liners of the Dylan stuff. He's obviously feeling it. This just feels throwaway, doesn't it?
Really does. Yeah. All right, so there's my number 4.
Your number 4 and my number 3. So we've had a lovely version of Hey Jude. As another throwaway bit of info, because when I was researching this and I was watching the David Frost performance of the Beatles, all the outtakes, I had not seen that before. All the outtakes are there before, and they're larking about. And John Lennon, in a very John Lennon, Peter Sellers-y type voice, starts singing "It's Now or Never,"
Really?
Even in the outtakes of the TV show, and he's taking the mickey and he sounds silly, and that's still a Beatles version better than the Elvis of the Beatles. Yeah.
Superb. I was going to have a look at that.
It's only a 2-liner, so it's only the but he sings it very silly, and you just go, that's just off the cuff completely.
Brilliant.
Oh, excellent. Because we're going to play through these. The also rans are going to fill another half an hour after, aren't they?
It looks like it, doesn't it?
My number 4 from the 60s movie soundtrack, my first one. From Girls, Girls, Girls.
Oh, okay.
Earth Boy.
Oh, crikey, that's awful, isn't it? I've written that.
Is that in your list?
It was certainly in the top 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earth Boy, why is this so bad? It starts off like Benny Hill, doesn't it? Yeah, it starts off like Benny Hill. And then it's so offensive because he's trying to do this mock Oriental voice to the phrasing of the song. You know, he might as well be there going Syria. It's so wrong.
And the movie version's even worse, isn't it?
Yes.
With those two little girls in there. You know,
Yeah. I
the
just think
the little Tui sisters.
well, that's it. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a track that I would always skip.
Yeah. It really is a 70s caricature on a comedy show that would no longer be shown in this modern day, isn't it?
It is. That's exactly it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you ever Mind Your Language? Do you remember
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes.
that? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It would fit nicely into that, but I find it cringeworthy now. And I know there's a lot of other things that we see in the movies. You know, they're probably a bit sexist, they're a bit this, that, and the other. But that one's always kind of not quite, don't quite gel with that one.
But didn't it have his place in the movie itself at the time?
It might have done. I still don't like it in the movie. So some of these I've voted for. I'd say they fitted the movie.
Yeah.
I just can't go with that one.
No, it's hard work, let's say.
It's hard work. Poor chap, but you know, he didn't write these, so we can
Forgive him, yeah.
we can start saying that, yeah.
They said Elvis sing a song, and Colonel said, "Pay him $1 million and he'll sing anything," and he did. So
Yeah, and he did.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add on Earth Boy?
No, I think we've said it all. It's just basically offensive, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think that will shock people that was that we've gone down that route.
Hi, this is Matt Shepard, the author of Elvis Presley Stories Behind the Song. And like you, I'm delighted to be listening to Vince and Ian on Talking Elvis, the podcast.
Okay, then. So my number 3 is my first of 2 movie appearances in this top 5, bottom 5, wonder what you would call it, and it really is down to the lazy, incomprehensible writing of the lyrics of this song. This is from Girl Happy, and it's Wolf Call.
Really?
Oh crikey! Yeah, absolutely. Have you listened to the lyrics?
Is it what Bob Key Eye?
They've made up words for the first 2 verses.
Yeah,
it's terrible. I mean,
it really
I like again. I don't mind the tune. It's okay, but you know, and it, to a certain degree, it was part of a pretty ordinary movie. But the producer Hal Wallace said, "Why on earth would you have the best singer in the world in a movie and not let him sing a song?" Which is pretty much why Elvis sang in most of his movies, right?
Yeah.
And then they get him to record shite like this. I'm sorry to use that word again, but it's rubbish.
But it's all down to money again, isn't it? Because you look around, you could be having. It's a bit like Eurovision. You know, you don't expect a great writer to write for Eurovision, do you?
Right, no,
and you know, you never got Lennon and McCartney doing it,
No.
and which is why we always have Bing Bang Bong, Bing Bang Bong, Bing Bang Bong.
Hello. There's me being offensive to everybody.
Yeah, but that's how it goes. And in Elvis films, because you are going right, we need 6 songs. 2 of them are about a helicopter, 1 about grass growing, and 1 about an impotent bull. Yeah, can you write a song? Oh yeah, I'm good for this. Yeah, no trouble.
But yeah, so Wolf Call gets it for me. Oh yeah, I had to have the talent that is Elvis. They've already degraded him by putting him in this movie in the first place, but to have him singing this song as well, it's just adding insult to injury.
I think the only good thing about this is it took 10 minutes to make the film, didn't it?
Yeah.
You can put it behind you really quickly.
But they must have written the song during a blooming ad break as well, so, you know, that's how much thought has gone into this.
Yeah, it really is.
Why the ball in the kettle for a cup of tea? There's a song. Well, yeah, we'll send that to Elvis. That'll do it. Yeah. Sing that, mate. And it's an absolute credit to him, isn't it, that he persevered and carried on doing all this sort of stuff. You know, he signed a contract, so he went and did the work. So
dear, oh dear. Yeah,
indeed. So my number 3, Wolf Call.
Well, my number 3, I've already said, is is me Hey Jude. One of my also rans that I wanted to put in here
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't get in. The bullfighter was a lady.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, and that
I'm going to
was
put
on.
that in just for the bestiality.
Yeah, that that was on Elvis's Greatest Shit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I
I
don't
think
know.
that would be one of my also rans.
I quite like that because in the context of the movie, he was singing to he wasn't singing to Dolores, was he? But he was singing a song in a club, and she was in the audience. Obviously, the bullfighter was in the club, so context I think was okay. But yeah, it's not great, is it?
It is just like I've got this idea of this bull who fancies the bullfighter. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's not go there. So I think in my also rans, I'm going to put that one in as an
That's
offence.
like that's a cartoon song, isn't it?
Yeah.
You often see the bull doing his hair and putting his aftershave on in a Bugs Bunny movie or something, don't you?
It is, isn't it? Yeah. So don't judge me for fancying Bugs Bunny when he puts a wig on.
Yeah. Oh lordy.
So that would be my also ran for a number 3 because I'm keeping A Jude as my number 3.
Aye. Okay. Right. So I'm into my top 2. I'm on number 2. This is from an album that you've already alluded to, Raised on Rock.
Oh.
So it's that album, and it's something again which is similar to the reasoning behind why on earth would you include Hey Jude as a track on an album, and this is 3 Corn Patches.
I mean, it's got a good pedigree though, hasn't it?
Yeah. But again, Elvis's vocal is all over the place. It's totally out of tune with the actual music, and yet they've deemed it important enough to put on an album again.
And it's overproduced. It's oh yeah.
The music itself is actually good. It's it's a bit of a foot tapper as well, and we know everybody line dances to it and all that sort of stuff. But his vocal is just terrible. This is a guy with a voice that everybody could only dream of.
Yeah.
And he's doing this.
If that's the one they've released, what are the outtakes going to be like?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we get that loosey goosey first take.
Yeah.
Is better than than the others, but not a great fan of the song. I mean, it's Lieber and Stoller, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And you just go, come on, lads, you can do better than this.
Yeah. Like I say, I think with a better vocal delivery, it may have been redeemed. Whether it's just not right for Elvis, or whether he couldn't get the gist of this one, I don't know. I haven't heard any other versions of it, so if there's any better vocals out there, I haven't heard.
I'll have to have a dig deep on that.
Yeah,
that's
indeed,
good.
yeah.
I mean, that's terrible that two off the same album have cropped up in our list.
I know. It's a lot
That's bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes you reevaluate the albums, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
it does indeed.
That is really bad because you're looking at Mark James and Lieber and Stoller. And how could you, and there's all these doodah and doodah writing songs for him that were all pap, and we haven't included them.
I know they should know better, shouldn't they? These songwriters should know better.
Yeah, but just think, we don't like that. And Raised on Rock wasn't the biggest selling Elvis album ever, but it's got some of these guys a swimming pool, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Yeah. So maybe we should start writing lyrics for somebody. I don't know. Maybe we're in the wrong business.
We really are. So that was our number.
That's my number 2.
Well, number 2, right? So my number 2.
It certainly was a number 2.
Elvis's greatest number 2s. That would be a really good album. My number 2 made me smile. I had in my head one song while I was thinking about another one.
Uh-huh.
So I got a little bit messed up when I was doing this, because one of my very cheesy ones I'm going to bring into me also runs after, but this one I decided to go for. It's a movie song.
Yep.
I don't even like the scene in the movie.
I
don't like the scene in the movie. I'd cut it out and put it on the floor straight away. It is a song that, well, it makes me just think back to the the press conference when Elvis goes, "I'd rather not say about my political beliefs. I'm just an entertainer," and he comes out with, "He's your uncle, not your dad. He's the best friend you've ever had." Right? Oh,
That's a
it's
little controversial.
it is, isn't it?
Again, that's on this album that we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's on there.
So I think he's your uncle. I don't like the scene of it with all those weird blokes old blokes.
All those guys from Texas, was it? Or
Yeah,
like that?
that was the ones in.
Oh no, it's a Speedway.
In
Wasn't
the
it?
office, in the in
Yes.
the tax office.
Yeah,
So
that's it. Yeah.
yeah, and they're all doing this strange dance behind him, and he's doing his your uncle, yeah, and you're just an entertainer. Don't get into the political bollocks. It's dear me.
And it's always it's one of those scenes, isn't it, where it's forget about what's going on right in front of your face. Look beyond the entertainer and look to see what the extras are doing, because they're often funnier than anything else that's on the screen at the time.
Third guy from the left, he's still sitting there going, "I was in Speedway, you know." Right?
It really is, isn't it? Yeah, it's one of those scenes. I mean, I don't mind the song. It's by this stage, it was what, 66, 67, wasn't it? By this stage, everybody was just like, oh, let's just chuck it in and get it out of the way, you know.
But it makes you cry, because you're just thinking of the songwriters are out there, the quality of music. If you look at that week in the charts, or that year's charts, how much good stuff, where are the Birds, where are the Stones, where are the blooming the Doors? Oh man, we've got such a dodgy history.
And if you think about it as well, I mean, I know it was the studios that drove the plots and drove this thing, but you're talking of an internationally renowned record company like RCA allowing this dross to go out onto their releases, it's just, I don't know. They weren't thinking long term. Definitely, they were only thinking the short term. What can we get out of this?
Well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, Elvis has had it. He's been in the army. He's going to be no good. He comes back. Oh, hang on. We've got a new Elvis, the Formula movie.
Yeah.
Well, let's bang out a few of them. Yeah. And even if it's blooming attached as a B movie to something else, it's still sold a squillion more than the latest other movie that had no backing. Yeah. So, it's a shame. But I think that's the pits in that it gets this salute Uncle Sam, good old boy. Oh no, it just does not work. Dislike that song a lot. Would fast forward in the film, but then I'm not really a great fan of Speedway as a film, I suppose.
No. Well, I gave Nancy Sinatra number 2 on my list of co-stars, didn't I? So you weren't very impressed when I said that either, were you? So
I'm not very impressed very often these days. Yeah, no. So it's my age. It's my age, dear. Right, so that was my number 2. Yeah. Does that mean we're down to nitty gritty?
We are indeed. Yes.
Now I think you have got my number 1.
I'm pretty sure I know your number 1.
You should have that. Yeah. I've no idea which way you're going to go. I would, if I'm going to put money on it, I'll be honest, I'm going to tick which one I think it's going to be here. Yeah. And I will be honest to what I think you were going to say. Okay, so your number 1, straight in, pop pickers, right?
It's another one from Girl Happy, I'm afraid. Does that upset your list?
No, I thought you were going Old MacDonald.
No, not at all. That didn't even make the top 10.
We'll talk about that after then.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. I'm going to go, and it's a complete mess of a song. It really is it really is, and it's a stupid blooming title as well. I've got to find my baby. I think that is the pits of a song. They've thought of the lyric first, the title of the song first, and then they thought we've got to put the title of the song as the first thing he says in this song, which is why I say it's a mess. It's hurried and it's badly put together, and it does not showcase Elvis's talents whatsoever. I think it's shoddy. I think it's terrible, and I'm just not having it. Should I say what I really mean as well?
Yeah. Well, I've got to completely disagree with you.
I know.
Completely. I love it.
I mentioned this song a few weeks ago as well in the context of one of the movies,
Yeah.
and I remember you saying I actually quite like that song.
Yeah, no, it is one of those 60s little bopper things that oh yeah, and probably in the film I can make do with it. But this is lovely that it's that personal view, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so angry.
Yeah.
You are Mr. Angry there. That, you know, it's awful, but how can a throwaway song affect us? Well, it does, because I'm going to do exactly the same in a minute, right?
It is. It's. I just think why what you should. I don't know how songwriting works. Right. I've never written a song. I don't know, but I would have thought just put the lyrics together first of all, say what you mean, and then out of that give it a title. Surely that is the way to go. But they've obviously thought of the title first of all. How are we going to fit the title in?
Yeah.
And he opens with it, and it's not even. I wouldn't say it's not in tune, but it's not even. Doesn't sound like there's a melody involved here, or whatever the thing is in music that you call it. Because again, I don't know music. I don't.
Yeah,
read
but
music,
it doesn't float your boat. It doesn't grab you.
No, it does, and it doesn't, and it certainly doesn't flow. Should we say? That's so. Yeah, I'm trying to be as intelligent as possible here without. Because people just thinking, who's listening to this now, thinking he knows bugger all about music. He does, and they're right.
But you know what you know, and you like what you like, and that's what
It's
it should
personal.
be.
Yeah, it's personal
Yeah.
opinion.
Of Girl Happy, the songs in there, and it's probably in the auto runs again. Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce is 1,000 times worse than that song.
Probably.
But not in your opinion. That's fine.
Because
That's great.
I quite like the Fort Lauderdale Chamber, as bizarre as the lyrics are.
Yeah.
And the reason for actually writing it, I think it's a nice little melody. I quite like it. The
Yeah.
strumming of the guitar and the way Elvis delivers it. I quite, it sounds nice to me.
Well, that's all that matters.
Bizarre, isn't it?
So, oh dear me.
It's Elvis time. To let you know that every Wednesday on Cam FM, you can listen to Elvis in Cambridge with myself, Ian Gray, and his self, Vince Wright. We're on at 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. USA East Coast time, and 9 a.m. Alaskan time. You can also get us 24 hours a day via the catch-up service on www.camfm.co.uk. But whatever time it is that you're listening, you can guarantee one thing. It's Elvis time.
Talk about the good times with Talking Elvis.
Now, I'm guessing. I'm not going to say what the film is. I'm guessing your number one is from a film, from a movie.
Yes.
And
it's
probably from one of the later movies, shall we say, but without giving it away.
It is. It's
okay.
Most definitely is exactly what you think, because I have had a love-hate relationship with this song for forever. And in our top fives, this film has cropped up a lot. And I love everything else about the film, except Mary Tyler Moore. My song that is my least favourite Elvis song ever, or worst, or top five best, worst, least, whatever it is, is Have a Happy.
Yeah, I
can't
put that down as your number one.
Have a Happy. Yeah. That was the one I wrote down straight away, and I thought, no, when I research this properly, something will blow that out the water. And it didn't ever move from number one. There is something about that song that you know when something's at the wrong speed.
Yes, that's a perfect analogy, actually.
Yeah, it's just. It's just come on, just nudge it up a bit, and it doesn't quite do anything. And then we've got this merry-go-round thing going on, and it's sickly sweet. Bring the bucket. Don't like it. Could cut it out the film. It's a really good adult film apart from that one.
Bring the bucket. That's a great phrase. Mr. Creosote on you.
Yeah. My wafer thin mint of music. This is
excellent. Oh Lord. Yeah, it does seem like Elvis is slightly off the pace on this song, shall we say?
Yeah.
That's me being.
But I don't think the lyrics are up to much. I don't because there's a lot of these songs that they haven't been covered by everybody. So you don't suddenly go, yeah, but Dean Martin did it better, or Cat Stevens had a go at it and it was good. It is just, these are very throwaway, aren't they? But look at the rest of that movie. Let Us Pray, good gospel, change of habit.
Yeah.
Funky to the minute, rubbernecking, astounding.
Yeah.
Now, have a happy.
Yes, this has been mentioned on more than one occasion before, hasn't it? So
and I do put it higher than Hey Jude and Earth Boy and Raised on Rock and blooming all the others, Wolf Call and everything. Because it winds me up, and I don't know how it can make me so angry.
I wouldn't say my number one makes me angry. Well, if I just listen back to myself for 5 minutes,
I'm gonna say,
did. And it does not showcase Elvis's talent whatsoever. I think it's shoddy. I think it's terrible, and I'm just not having it. Should I say what I really mean as well?
Yeah. You had a rant.
Yeah, I did. Yes, in all fairness, yeah. So you know what? We've gone almost. We're in the same ballpark here, aren't we? The pair of us on these top five.
And that'll be interesting to see whether the listener is, or are we completely out of touch with everybody else's view,
or are we just being insulted and everything by Elvis was great?
A little more conversation with talkingelvis.co.uk.
Yeah.
So looking at the also rans, my first list was probably like the Elvis's Greatest Shit album, because you've been programmed a little bit. I know when I was into rock and roll, late 70s, early 80s, and I lived rock and roll, I could not stand Old Shep. It was just the biggest joke of a song ever. It's taken years to come on and go, it's a bit sweet as a country song, but it's nowhere near the dross that we've had and talked about today. But
Old Shep did make it into my top 20
because I'm just passionately angry now. You've not calmed me down since my blooming have a happy. Well, that's an ironic title, isn't it? The other one in the same vein as Hey Jude I had for years was, I never liked Elvis's Bridge Over Troubled Water. I never thought anybody could do it justice other than Simon Garfunkel.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
Yeah, and it was just because of what I was comparing it to. So when I was doing this and I'm listening to it and I'm going, it's great, but I have to say it's great, but I'm sorry, Art Garfunkel, thank you, and so it didn't make my list, but that was one of my scribble it down when we decided the list that was going to go on.
And I've I've gone for one or two which are very, very popular, like Memories, the one he sang at the end of the sit down show in the '68 special.
What don't you like about that? Because that's interesting. I like this one. Go on. I like the idea.
I think he sounds flat on it. When he opens up the song, it doesn't fit in with the tune at all. I think he's out of tune basically. He improves as the song goes on.
Do you like the song? Do you like the sentiment of the song or everything, or do you not like that either?
The song was okay. It's neither here nor there for me.
Hasn't it been used to death?
Yes, it has.
Every time we talk about it in a sort of an Elvis retrospective, we have to go Memories. Yeah. You will always get that.
Yeah, because if you think about what he's just come away from, he's been spelting out Heartbreak Hotel and One Night and all these sort of songs. And yes, it's rough and raw because it's supposed to be rough and raw. It's all acoustic and it's just like unplugged, so it's not supposed to be perfect. When he sits down to do this song at the end of that session, it is supposed to be perfect because it's come away from the rawness of Scotty playing the guitar and DJ slapping his bass thingy, and it's gone into like a studio setting, and his delivery of it, frankly, is poor.
So it kind of fits the bill to the Colonel's original view of the '68 special.
Yes,
if he wasn't sitting there in leather, if that was a Cardi.
Yes.
That would be the Merry Christmas, everybody, Osmond special again, wouldn't it?
It absolutely would, and that is a perfect example of you just saying that. Yep, yep. Well done, 100% on that one. So,
Yeah,
there's also a couple of movies as well, or one of the movies certainly, which we haven't included in the songs, and that's the songs from Harem Scarum. And I've written down at least two from that movie, which I hate. One is Mirage, which is rubbish.
Now, this is what I said. I looked at these and I said, "Golden Coins" and "Wisdom of Ages,"
Yeah,
and
I've
then I
written Wisdom of
realised
Ages, yeah.
I couldn't sing them because it's not, like you normally every word of every song, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think
and I couldn't choose which was my least favourite of those two.
yeah, I went for Mirage and Wisdom of the Ages from that movie. I did Golden Coins actually quite like. It's bizarrely again, it's what you
Yeah.
like, isn't it?
But it was like, "Hey Little Girl" is an absolute gem in that one.
Belter, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And
belter.
how if "Hey Little Girl" had been put in Roustabout, it would fit just nicely. There are all some good stuff here. We like this.
Yes, indeed.
But it stands out like a sore thumb on that, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. What else have you got on your also runs? There must be one or two controversial choices on there.
Controversial. Sandcastles. Oh dear. Yawn, 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 yawn. Right.
Didn't make my top 20.
Ito Eats. Elvis Does Calypso.
Well, yeah.
Not sure about that one.
Yeah. I've got another controversial one again from 1969, From a Jack to a King. I just don't like the song.
Ooh.
Now
I've got that up in the other end of the scale.
I didn't like that when Ned Miller did it either, so I don't like either. I think it's just crap.
Do you know, we were doing an Elvis disco once, and this chap came up and he said, "Will you play Farmer Jack?" I said, "What song's that?" And he said, "Farmer Jack to a King." Yeah.
You made that up. You
Absolutely. It's all right.
Well, it's a great story. I mean,
Yeah, sorry.
Well done. That's good. I like that.
I think some of the dodgy ones that I did put in the list and then went. Petunia's The Gardener's Daughter is rubbish,
Yeah,
but it's meant to be of its time. Their little theatrical production, isn't it?
absolutely.
So it's got to be rubbish.
It's
Same as
context, though, isn't it?
Sign of the Zodiac.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be rubbish, so I couldn't include them.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got any gospel-y songs?
I've got one. Yeah, I've got one gospel song which I think sounds like somebody's playing it on a little Bontepi organ, and that was "There Is No God But God."
Yes.
Shocking, terrible,
Yeah.
really bad. I don't know if you're allowed to say.
Well, it was a typo for years. I did.
Are we allowed to say a gospel song's not very good?
Well, this is the thing again. We've got to be able to, haven't we? We've got to have this. For all of these, there's good and there's bad. With the gospel-y religious stuff, there's some of them they didn't rock me world either way. They're good, but they were. I found the worst of the gospels were middle of the road, so they didn't quite get into the bad one.
Yeah.
I then went into Christmas.
Oh, I didn't touch the Christmas album. I should have really. Should have known my attitude towards it.
Well, Silver Bells. Silver Bells was like a number 7 on my list.
Really?
Silver Bells, I hate that.
Oh,
even
wow.
remixed versions and everything. Silver
like
Bells is it's the Christmas version of Have a Happy.
I quite like that one. But I didn't look at the Christmas songs, I have to say, and I should have really.
Well, to be honest, if you go down that route and you play Elvis's White Christmas and you think of all the hoo-ha about the devil's work and how can this guy be singing it and he should be banned and the radio stations didn't. And I listened to it and I went, it ain't Bing.
There's another show we can do nearer Christmas. Our favourite Christmas songs, can't we?
We will do. We will do.
Because there's plenty of material there, but there's also equally
material.
bad material as well. Yeah.
And I think one that we didn't stipulate in the criteria of how we choose this, but I'm glad neither of us went that way. When I was looking, and you go, we've got 8 million concerts issued, even the ones issued in his lifetime, and you get those shockingly hurried versions of Hound Dog and Blue Suede Shoes, and those, and neither of us went down that route, but I think those were just also rans, weren't they? Though.
Well, yeah, it's I mean, I have got one of those live songs on my list, which got into the final mix, and that was from Moody Blue, and that was Little Darling. Little Darling don't think that deserves a place. Yes, it deserves. It's all right. It's all right. It's a half decent song, but it took it. It was one of these songs that should not have been on an album. They were just looking for something to fill it up.
It really is. I just, because I've got 3 sheets in the wind, 3 sheets of notes here. Top of number 2, Little Darling. Little Darling, is like an impromptu studio session song with a haka wicka ika waka and all that bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he was doing it straight, it would have been decent, wouldn't it?
Probably, yeah. But it shouldn't have been allowed on the album. That's the thing. That's the disappointing thing for me on this.
How about, is there any disappointing duets?
Oh, duets. Let's have a look.
Because I've got one. It was in my also rans.
Okay. I don't think I've got any duets. You tell me what yours is, and I'll go.
Who Needs Money?
Oh,
I do. Yeah. Oh, a creepy dude singing with him. You wouldn't leave them with your kids.
That was Gordon Stoker. That was Gordon Stoker, though, isn't it?
But it doesn't fit the movie. It's like I'm a robot. Oh God, no. That one gets me. We've only mentioned one from the 50s, and that was Old Shep. So that's an interesting, because again, when I was just strictly rock and roll, when I was a newbie, Harbour Lights and I Love You Because used to wind me up, and I love them now.
Harbour Lights I'm not keen on.
Tomorrow Night, how's that? Is that one?
The original version, without not the 60s version, the 50s version. That was
you played that on the radio the other week, didn't you?
I did,
yeah. I like that for a change.
Yeah, I think quite like that. But you're right. I'm just looking through my list here, and I've not listed any other 50s songs apart from Old Shep, which is a strange one, because a lot of them were well, some of them anyway were a little bit ropey, only because it was. But I think they stand up because it was of the time. They're not expected to be anything other than what they are, because that rock and roll music was finding its way when Elvis recorded it to a certain degree, wasn't it? So, and I think it's hard to be critical of that, but it just goes to show as well what a phenomenon Elvis was during that time.
Yeah,
that he did these songs so well. So that's probably testament to why these things haven't made our list.
Well, that's excellent news.
I think that's good.
Oh, that was some.
We've had some rubbish there, haven't we?
We haven't. I've got one. I've saved this one till last. Because this is going to offend you.
Oh, we got a bonus.
I know how much you love everything Kissing Cousins.
Oh no.
Kissing Cousins number 2. Why put 2 Kissing Cousins on? Kissing Cousins number 2. We could do without that one.
Is that the opening? Is that the opening time of the movie? Yeah, it's not very good.
It's not good, is it?
Compared to the rocking one that they did at the end of the film.
Yeah, I'd have put that one in the bin.
Yeah. I'll let you have that one.
That's all right then.
I'm not too deeply offended, but because every other song on that movie is just tremendous, I think. But yeah, you're probably right. And it only lasts for about 1 minute and 10 seconds, doesn't it?
Yeah, too long.
There's 1 minute and 10 seconds you'll never get back.
Dear RCA, you owe me. Oh.
And I've listened to it 17 million times, so that's quite a bit you owe me there.
I bet we've never played that at a disco ever, have we?
Probably not. Not even if it was early evening or early in the day, probably.
Yeah, no. Oh dear. So I think we've done well there. So, dear listener, are we wrong?
Yeah, over to you. Yeah, let us know. This is a personal view, and we want your personal view as well. So if you think that we shouldn't be dissing Elvis songs at all, or if you think we've missed some out, and we think we've covered a fair few, if if it's just not your favourite, tell us why. Because what we've just done, we've explained why we don't like that particular song, why we don't like Have a Happy, why we don't like Hey Jude. We've explained why we don't like it. So don't just say, oh, that was a bit rubbish, wasn't it? Come and tell us why you don't like it, why you think it's rubbish.
I think that's excellent. So I think Have a Happy, and yours was
I've got to find my baby.
I've Got to Find My Baby are, according to us, the two worst Elvis songs ever. Okay, dear listener, discuss.
Hi, guys. What's on the show next week?
At this point, every single week, I look across from where I'm recording, where you're hearing my voice, and I look across to the bookshelf and I think I'm going to need some inspiration from one of those books. But then I realised, hang on a minute, the bookshelf is my inspiration. All these years I've been collecting Elvis books, same as you, same as most Elvis fans. So why don't we talk about the books of Elvis that we have? Why don't we do that?
So the sort of you're not your top five, but you're the most
Not necessarily, no.
can't live without, or the most useful, or the most thumbed, the ones that you go back to.
Did I buy it just to have it in the collection, or did I buy it to actually read the words? Because a lot of these books, you don't read the words; you look at the nice pictures of Elvis, or nice pictures of Graceland, or whatever. Or the books I use for research for these programs, anything like that. Anything and if it's just your favourite, like you said, the well thumbed one that you pick up every now and then and go, you know what? For no reason whatsoever, I just love this book, and we must have loads between us.
I have got so many books in boxes that I haven't even looked at in ages. You are giving me a terrible excuse to do nothing all week but unpack boxes. I'm going to be so unpopular in my house, and it's all your fault.
I'll take that on the chin, yeah. I'll say it's all for the art. It's all for the art, Sue.
That's it, darling. It's my art. Yes. When I'm there with the 1982 colour supplement from the Times.
and you know what? We'll even allow for the Elvis annuals, not the Elvis monthlies or the fan club magazines. So magazines, it's not anything with a floppy magazine type of cover. Yeah, that's going to be great. I really love that idea, because we started off this whole talking Elvis, didn't we, with memorabilia?
Yes.
In the day, way back in February, I think it was. So we're talking 6 months ago. So
pre-lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. When we were allowed to go out and about.
You could have a pint.
Oh, there's a thought. What should we do next week? Hey. If I don't hear from you this time next week, I'll know that you've been whacked quite firmly over the head with one of these books that you've unloaded from a box.
That's it. Lady, don't fall backwards. That's the little beauty.
Excellent. Enjoy that. That'd be good fun. Okay.
Excellent stuff. I think we've done a good little show here this week.
And that is it for me. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
See ya. Bye now.
Find us at www.talkingelvis.co.uk or Facebook or YouTube or Spotify. In fact, any place you get your podcasts.